Yeah, I think that was his biggest mistake, right?
Huge mistake.
You just want to do
two mistakes. One, you don't fight Islam on 10 days notice. You just can't. That just doesn't make any sense. That's crazy. He's so hard to beat. He's so good. If he's not the best, it's you and him for the best, pound for pound. And you're gonna risk that on 10 days? That's crazy. And that again changes the course of his career, right?
That's wild, right?
Imagine if he doesn't take that fight. He says, I can't.
This is the guy that's done it all against the guy doing it for the very first time.
Yes.
There must be fear.
I mean, no. Because it's not fear. I'm not afraid of anything. I don't know how I would word it in regards to fear, because it's not fear.
What was it Tom Aspinall told us about fear going into a fight? Can you remember?
Tom had that.
I'm pretty sure I've heard Tom say, like, everybody's afraid. It's how you manage fear.
Yeah, it's the
Something
custom
along
matter
that.
stuff.
Yeah.
I'm genuinely, like, I'm not afraid. There's nothing I see him doing that I'm afraid of. There's nothing I think of him doing that I'm afraid of. I chose to do this sport for a living. I chose to get into MMA. I wanted to be a world champion. I wanted to prove I was one of the best in the world. And I have to do that by beating some of the best in the world. So for me, there's no fear.
I love confidence. I love confidence. I love a guy that believes in himself. I love someone that's willing to go out on a limb and call their shot. What I don't understand, though, is sometimes a person is misguided in their thoughts. And when they're misguided in their thoughts, they set themselves up for a very, very bad night or a bad result. I'm not saying Ian Garry cannot beat Islam Makhachev. What I'm saying is you got to take that as it comes.
Ian Garry believes he can handle Islam Makhachev, but the experts are already sounding the alarm. Because once Islam gets his hands on an opponent, the fight can change in seconds. And according to some of the biggest names in MMA, Ian Garry may be walking straight into the worst possible matchup of his career.
This is the right fight. This is the fight that has to happen. And he can say anything he wants to say. He can make up any excuse he wants. He can say what he wants, but do what he wants to do. When that cage door closed on August 15th and I'm stood across from him, I'm going to go out there and do everything I possibly can to put him unconscious and get my hand raised. Because that belt is coming home to double line.
Islam says Ian Garry made a huge mistake, thinking a few months of training can prepare him for years of elite wrestling.
Ну, я уже как-то говорил, что это является ошибкой для бойцов ездить на какие-то сборы за 2-3 месяца до боя, чтобы потянуть борьбу. Это, наоборот, играет злую такую ошибку, потому что человек едет на 2-3 месяца куда-то подготовиться и начинает верить в свою борьбу, и вот это потом не срабатывает. За 2-3 месяца невозможно научиться бороться. Это то, что ты должен делать с самого детства многие-многие годы.
Dana White says Islam stayed ready for anything, accepted the challenge on short notice, and performed exactly like the world champion he is.
Islam was willing to fight anybody. He stayed active, and he went out tonight and performed the way a guy should on a short notice fight when you are the best in the world and you're the champion.
But Rogan says the real nightmare begins behind Islam's discipline, an insane routine of training, recovery, and total sacrifice that made Makhachev the champion he is today.
Unbelievably grueling training sessions. And, that was one of the things that was so apparent, like with his endurance and their discipline was like second to none. They were like, no girlfriends, no phones, no video games. We train. Yeah. And, recover, train, eat, recover, train. And you want to really be a champion? This is how you have to work. And this is why Islam Makhachev is so good.
Dustin Poirier says Islam's wrestling pressure reminds him of Khabib, but with a different style. Once Makhachev gets on top, his weight, control, and suffocating pressure create a nightmare for Ian Garry.
But their style is different. The way they ride, the way they use their weight in different positions. It's just a different style. But I think I have a better understanding of it since fighting Khabib. You know, I've never felt that kind of pressure before. And I think Islam's, obviously his takedowns are a little different, but his top pressure and in the grappling scenario is going to be similar.
Michael Bisping warns Ian Garry not to underestimate this matchup. Islam has already dominated elite wrestlers, and Bisping believes this fight will be far tougher than anyone expecting an easy win.
Because Islam Makhachev is the GOAT. He's going to take him down. The man's Irish. They don't wrestle in Ireland, for crying out loud. Well, guess what? He's a well-rounded mixed martial artist. He's 17-1. He had a very, very close fight with Shavkat Rakhmonov. Ended the fight threatening the rear naked choke. He beat the former champion, Belal Muhammad, that wrestled the life out of Leon Edwards, okay? So this is a real fight. Before you start to think that this is just going to be one-way traffic, I'm telling you, this is going to be a lot tougher than what...
Daniel Cormier believes Islam Makhachev may be the most naturally talented fighter MMA has ever seen. Raised in combat sports from childhood, Islam has been developing this complete skill set his entire life.
No. He's by far the most talented person that we've had in mixed martial arts. Together, right, with his dad. So their whole life they did combat sambo. Combat sambo was actually like gi tops, punching, grappling. Like they were essentially doing MMA as like kids. Right. And then just keep getting better.
Ian Garry is refusing to be intimidated by Islam Makhachev's reputation. He says every opponent and every challenge only gives him another chance to prove he is better than people believe. And he claims he only knows how to win.
The opponent change and the date changes a lot. I just love to fight. And this is an opportunity to go out there to prove that I am better than everyone believes and knows I am. This guy's got a 100% finish rate. I've got a 100% win rate.
Ian Garry is preparing to keep Islam at the end of his punches. Islam is preparing to make sure Ian Garry never gets the space to use them.
Босиком специально босиком брать, чтобы не подскользнулась нога случайно, даже в носках нельзя. Еще ты дерешься же, босиком у тебя полностью должна нога чувствовать землю. Еще пояс есть? У меня два еще, если можно дать один. Тебе заслужить надо, брат. UFC тебе заслужить надо. Так не даю, брат. Чуть-чуть осталось, брат.
This is where Islam's wrestling becomes genuinely terrifying. Daniel Cormier reveals the brutal Dagestani system behind Makhachev's dominance, training morning, midday, and evening, with gymnastics and body control before wrestling even begins. These fighters aren't just learning takedowns for a fight. They're building elite movement and grappling from childhood. That's why Cormier says Islam operates on a completely different level, and why Ian Garry could be walking into a wrestling nightmare.
It's to Russia. They sent them, bro. We put them in some big jackets, and I said, hey, I know if we want to be the best, they got to be by these guys. And so we sent them. And Khabib had him in his gym every day. Wow. He bought, and Khabib is a great guy, right? He bought hotels for him. He'd feed him. He said, just get him here. And, dude, they trained for a month. They told me, they said, Coach, we practice with you. He goes, in Dagestan, it's training. Because it's in the morning, it's in the midday, and it's in the evening. You're training all day. Long practices. He said that these kids told me, Joe, that they do about 30 minutes of gymnastics before they start practice. Gymnastics. For the flexibility and body discipline and body control and everything. So they're flipping and doing all kinds of stuff before they ever got to wrestling. Wow. They're operating at a different level, man. That's why you see Makhachev like being who he is. Makhachev is crazy, bro.
Islam Makhachev hears all the confidence from Ian Garry and immediately points straight at what he believes is Garry's biggest weakness. Islam says wrestlers and grapplers have always caused Ian problems, so he plans to follow the same blueprint and finish the fight on the ground. And the scary part? Islam insists he can still strike, kick, and play with Garry if the fight stays standing. That confidence is a brutal warning.
In the weak point, the wrestling, grappling, he have always problem. is the guy who have good wrestling, good grappling. That's why I will follow same plan. I will finish him in the ground. But I can striking with him. I can kick him. Like, I can play with him, you know.
Yeah, but he can kick you back.
It's no problem, man.
It's no problem.
It's no problem.
Chael Sonnen believes Ian Garry's confidence is making this fight even more dangerous. Garry genuinely believes he can beat Islam Makhachev, and Chael says that belief is a massive deal. But Sonnen also hints that Islam has no easy path ahead, despite teasing a huge announcement. The message is clear. Ian Garry is stepping into the biggest fight of his career, and Chael believes his confidence could create a shocking collision with Islam.
I tell you that Ian Garry believes he's going to beat Islam Makhachev. It's a big deal. It's a big deal for a couple of reasons, and I'm going to come out right now and I'm going to make a prediction for you. This fight's going to be huge. And by the way, Islam about a month ago started teasing on his social media that he's got a big announcement coming soon. And I took a great joy in being able to inform Islam, no, you don't. There is nothing huge out there for Islam Makhachev.
Dustin Poirier sees exactly where Ian Garry's path to victory could exist, but it may be incredibly difficult to find. He believes Garry has to hurt Islam with a huge shot on the feet. But there's the problem. Every punch comes with the threat of a takedown. Can Ian find his range, take those risks, and land clean while constantly worrying about Islam's wrestling? That's the million-dollar question.
That's where if he wins, he's going to win the fight there, on the feet. You know, he's going to hurt Islam with a big shot or something. But to find that range and to get those shots off and to take the chances when you're worried about the takedowns, that's the thing. Can he do that?
Well, Ian Garry is extremely confident in his game plan, and he believes Islam has never faced someone with his combination of size, speed, and intelligence. Garry says he has the keys to beat a southpaw, plans to jab Islam apart, defend the takedowns, and keep the fight standing. He promises to crack Makhachev repeatedly, just like he did against Belal Muhammad. But now comes the real test. Can that plan survive Islam's pressure?
For me, I'm undefeated against southpaws. He's a southpaw. I have that. I know how to do it. I have the keys to victory against that. I'm longer, I'm taller, I'm faster than anybody he's ever faced, and I'm smarter than anybody he's ever stepped in there with. I am going to piece him up on the feet. I'm going to jab the mouth off him. I will make him lean off angles. He will shoot. I will defend the shot. I will stay on the feet, and I will crack him and crack him and crack him just like I did to Belal today.
Islam Makhachev has no interest in making this complicated. His plan for Ian Garry is brutally simple. Take him down, control him, and finish him on the ground. Islam even sounds surprised that anyone would question whether he can do it. To him, this is the easiest path to victory. And that confidence sends Ian Garry a terrifying message. Once Islam gets his hands on him, the fight could change instantly.
Always same plan. Take down, make them tired, and finish him there. I can do it easy, much easier. You believe?
Me? I don't know, man.
How you don't know? I take you down.
Ian Garry may have the height, the reach, and the striking ability to create serious problems for Islam Makhachev. But every second this fight gets closer to the fence, the danger increases. The experts are warning Ian Garry that Islam does not need to win every exchange. He only needs one opening, one body lock, one takedown, and once that happens, the entire fight could change in an instant. Ian Garry believes he can keep Islam trapped at the end of his punches. Islam believes he can drag him into a world where size and confidence mean nothing. So when the cage door finally closes, will Ian Garry prove the experts wrong? Or will Islam's wrestling turn this into a nightmare from which he simply cannot escape?